This is the Superman that the Iron Giant wanted to be.
You are who you choose to be.
We've seen a lot of Superman over the last few years. Henry Cavill's wildly debated portrayal in the Snyderverse, Tyler's role in Superman and Lois, Brandon Routh even returned as his Superman for the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover on the CW. Get it? His Superman returned? I know, I'm hilarious. But strangely enough, despite all the good Supermen we've gotten, there's another trope that's been even more prevalent. The evil Superman. Homelander, Omni-Man, Apocalypse Visions, Injustice, Brightburn, Sentry. They all ask a similar question. What if Superman was bad? Now, if you're Amanda Waller, you're already looking for a man with boomerangs and a man who can tie really good knots. And don't forget Katana.
This is Katana. She's got my back. She can cut all you in half with one sword stroke, just like mowing the lawn. I would advise not getting killed by her. Her sword traps the souls of its victims.
Harley Quinn.
But in all seriousness, it's an interesting question. What would we do if Superman was bad? In Invincible, our greatest heroes were murdered, and his son had to turn against his father. In Apocalypse, the world dies and Bruce loses himself. In Injustice, Clark reigns like a dictator over the world. And at first, it was fascinating, and in some cases it still is. But eventually, once we'd seen the destruction, the hopelessness, the dark reality that all these monsters would bring, we realized something. We realized that for all those years, we took him for granted. That the blue Boy Scout with red underwear was gone, and without him, there was no hope left. So we all stepped back for a moment and asked the same question. Where is Superman? And luckily for us, he heard.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Superman by James Gunn is an interesting movie. In many ways, it's a lot more similar to Man of Steel than you would think. It features a Lex Luthor who's younger, less interested in real estate than he is technology, and it features a parental figure whose values don't necessarily line up with what we'd expect. Jonathan Kent advising Clark to let a school bus full of children die, whereas the new Jor-El wants him to make some children of his own. There are families across the world holding up banners or painting rooftops in search of help. There's a government that is so suspicious of Clark, they even arrest him, being manipulated by Lex into seeing him as a villain. There are differences, of course. Man of Steel takes its time with Superman's origin, where Superman 2025 skips right past it, moving at a breakneck speed right up until the end. But on paper, these are two very similar movies. In fact, I would argue that in many ways, Man of Steel is actually better. But Superman 2025 got one very important thing right. Superman. This is a character-driven movie above all else, and it's a special type of one at that, because in a way, it's a character-driven movie that has no main character arc. Yes, Superman struggles along the way, loses faith for a moment, but there is no real change in his character. And in most movies, that would be a problem. The first rules of storytelling are built around character arcs, after all. We see this in the MCU all the time. Tony Stark, Star-Lord, Thor, even Rocket Raccoon. They all change, grow, become better people by the end. But Superman is different. When the movie starts, he's injured, beaten for the first time in his life, and yet while his Superman robots advise him to heal, he instead returns to a fight that he's already lost. Not because he thinks he can win, in fact he knows he can't. Instead, he returns for one reason only, to save as many lives as he can, even if it means sacrificing himself. And throughout the movie, he struggles. The government arrests him. Lois, his closest companion, questions him and the choices he's made. The public turns on him. Even his fellow superheroes start to question his true intentions after the birth parents he thought he knew give him a horrifying objective that would make a Viltrumite proud. And yet, despite everything, he doesn't change. At all. Instead, his actions change those around him. At the beginning, Lois is somewhat jaded, willing to end a relationship just because she imagines that it can't last. Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl are superheroes, but only go where Maxwell Lord sends them, not willing to lift a finger to help Clark when he needs them. Metamorpho is a prisoner of Lex Luthor, willing to help contain Superman by force to protect his own loved ones. And throughout the movie, each of them attack Clark in their own way. Lois's cynicism tries to convince him not to trust others. Metamorpho's kryptonite shows him what it's like to feel genuine pain and weakness, and the Justice Gang showcase a darker method of superheroing, preferring to kill a creature without thought even if there is another way. Yet through it all, Superman still doesn't change. While arguing with Lois, he tells her that he loves her. While Metamorpho tortures him, he offers to save his son. While the Justice Gang are careless in their destruction of the city, he takes the time to save a squirrel that needed help. And eventually, his hope wears off on them. Lois stops pushing love away. Metamorpho helps him escape Luthor's prison. The Justice Gang go to another country to help innocents in need when Superman can't. Not because Maxwell Lord sent them, but simply because he asked them to. So while Clark doesn't change, that's okay, because he never really needed to. He was always strong, hopeful, and human. He just needed to bring that hope to everyone else. It took him long enough to get here, but Superman is back. Overall, I absolutely loved Superman. I don't think it's a perfect movie, but I do think it's a perfect example of a creative team nailing the one aspect of a story that they really needed to. With someone like Superman who can do anything, the writers often can as well, and in recent years, we've seen that. Dozens of stories trying to reimagine Big Blue for the modern age, ranging from making him cynical to making him an outright monster. All because somewhere along the line, studios and directors thought that an alien in red tights who does good simply because he can was corny, outdated, old-fashioned. But I think Superman 2025 proves the words of a wise agent.
People might just need a little old-fashioned.
Or, in the words of Superman himself, maybe that's the real punk rock.
That's my greatest strength.
Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed the video. I've been wanting to get back on YouTube for a while now, and I figured I'd start off by talking about some of the recent stories that I've really enjoyed. And for those of you who may not know me, my name is Chad Nicholas, and I'm an indie author. I've got 3 books out right now, links to those will be in the description, so if you want to check out any of those books, that'd be really awesome. They're not exactly hopeful stories like Superman, but I think you'd like them. If not, that's okay too. You can support me just by subscribing and liking the video. And let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next. Until then, be kind, my friends.